All right, so are you thinking of starting a garden? If you are thinking of starting a garden, let me ask you a question. Do you get excited about the thought of doing it? What memories go through your mind when you're thinking of why you want to start a garden? In this video, I want to talk about 5 reasons why I think you, right now, who's on the fence about starting a garden, should start a garden. And if you've already started this amazing journey of gardening, it's still a good video for you to watch also. So sit back, relax, grab your coffee. Let's talk a little bit about why you should get off that fence and start your garden. I'm going to go over these 5 reasons in no specific order, except for the last 2 are the most important ones to me, but not in a specific order. So starting right off the bat, if you're growing your own food, well, let me back up. How many of you all have tasted a vegetable, whether it's a tomato, a cucumber, a squash, pepper, whatever? Have you tasted a vegetable that somebody has grown in their garden? If the answer is yes, then you know right off the bat the difference in flavor between homegrown vegetables and the stuff you get in the stores, right? Like, there is no comparison at all, like not even close. So right there, if you love to eat vegetables and you've had homegrown vegetables, you know the difference, right? That is a big reason why you should start your own garden, just for that reason. Your own vegetables, how good they taste, and you know what you put in the soil. You know how those vegetables are grown. Are they truly organic just because some little label above the tray in your grocery store says they're organic? Or when you grow your own stuff, do you know it's organic, right? Like, you're going to know exactly what you put in, what chemicals, hopefully none. So the first point right off the bat is you're growing your own healthy food that you know what you put into it. That is a huge thing, because when we go to the grocery stores, do we really know how the vegetables were grown? We don't, right? We can think we do, but do we really? Not like how I know for a fact what every single bed has in it. How many times I've watered, what I've used as fertilizers to help amend the soils to boost plant production, plant growth. I know all that in my garden because I've literally carried all of it into this yard. Whether it's in my gorilla cart or in my arms, I have carried everything that has gone into this garden by my hands, by myself. And having said that, I know exactly what is in all my vegetables and how good they're going to taste. Now, you might also just be wanting to start a little herb garden, which is absolutely okay, because then you're still gardening, right? You're growing your own something, your own basil, your own rosemary, whatever it is that you want to grow. So start somewhere. And if you're thinking, I just want to start with an herb garden, then by all means start with an herb garden. But be prepared, because once you start gardening and it gets into your skin, it'll get into your soul. And the next thing you know, you turn your whole backyard into a garden, kind of like I did. Okay, let's talk about the second point, which is really near and dear to me, and that is stress relief and mental health. There are very few things that are as calming to me, stress relieving to me, than me being in the garden and me looking at my plants and planning what I'm going to grow when I pull this plant out or that plant out, dealing even with pests and disease and all that comes with gardening. It is still just me and my garden. And I'm just out here relaxing, going at my own pace, not worrying about the phone or a clock or what time it is or any of that. You're just in your zen place, relieving all that mental stress. And let me say this, if you're a veteran, you're a firefighter, you're a first responder, you're a cop, and you have dealt with mental issues, mental health issues, or you know someone who has, someone in your family, a close friend, a neighbor, someone from church, advise them to think about starting a garden. I'm telling you right now, there is such a level of peace that comes over you when you come out into your garden and you can watch the bees and the birds and the hummingbirds and the little lizards and just everything about your garden. And that's for me. Wherever you are, it might be totally different. You might have chipmunks and squirrels and groundhogs and whatever. You know where I'm going with this though, right? Deer. Like my mom's property, they have deer come onto her property. The mental health aspect of gardening, to me, is absolutely invaluable. It's priceless. You cannot beat the level of just being able to relax, let everything go that you're dealing with for the day, and just be at one out in your garden. Regardless of how big or how small your garden is, gardening is it's a God-given way to relieve stress, anxiety, all of that. I don't know any way. I don't know any other way to say it. Just if you just wanted to grow a garden for that reason alone, and you don't even care about vegetables, grow a flower garden. Perfect. You're still growing stuff. You're helping the pollinators and everything, and you're still gardening. You're outside. You're not inside. To me, being inside is kind of like, I don't know, it's you kind of feel trapped sometimes when you're inside your house, right? It could be a beautiful day, like right now here in zone 9B, Spring, Texas. I believe it's like 75 right now. First time this fall that it's been this temperature at this time of the day, and y'all, I'm loving it. I'm not sitting inside sweating or thinking about how hot it is outside. I'm outside in the garden talking to y'all about starting a garden and the mental health aspect and stress relief of starting a garden. And the smile's real. It feels so good out here. I've got so many bees right over here to my right. Hopefully you can see them flying around. Tell me that isn't amazing, yo. Total stress relief and an absolute way to recharge the mental health batteries that we all need. So, if you know someone who needs a healthy way to vent out, to get out, maybe of what they've gone through, or stress of work, life, all that, talk to them about starting a garden. Turn them onto this channel, turn them onto this video. I've got other videos on these kind of topics, so check them out and get that person the help they need, even if it's just starting a garden, which I'm telling you is so beneficial. Point 3, which I kind of just hit on just a few minutes ago, supporting your pollinators in your specific area. Every area has their amount of bees and moths and dragonflies and hoverflies and lacewings and every kind of pollinator you can imagine. But they all need our help to continue allowing us to grow vegetables, to have our flowers. So if you didn't want to grow a vegetable garden, don't. Grow a flower garden. They can be just, I mean, let's be real, they're gonna be even prettier than a vegetable garden because you got all these beautiful flowers like right here. I mean, look at all those gorgeous, gorgeous lantanas. Right over here is Texas sage, and they're putting on these beautiful purple flowers. Got this wisteria plant right there with all those beautiful flowers. Now, let's be real. Are those flowers, are these plants that I just showed producing anything for me that I could take in the house and eat or give away to friends and family? No. But not a capital N-O, more like a lowercase no, because by the flowers being out here, they're bringing in the pollinators, which then come over to this side where the vegetables are and pollinate those, right? So those plants, the flowers aren't directly giving me vegetables, but they're bringing in the insects that will pollinate and then give me vegetables. So if you don't want to grow veggies, grow a flower garden. Put flowers out and have the best looking backyard or front yard flower garden anywhere in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And even doing that, you're still outside, you're getting that stress relief, and you're benefiting not only you, your mental health, but you're benefiting the ecosystem in your local area. Now, how important is that? Like, super important, right? All the bees that come here, they're not here, they come from somewhere. So as they're flying in, they're hitting all of my neighbors' yards and flowers and everything. So it's a big ecosystem. We're all helping each other. And if you don't want to grow veggies, then don't. That's fine. But grow a flower garden. Plant some flowers. It might actually be something that you absolutely love to do. You might be incredibly good at it and you don't even know it. And worst case scenario, you're planting flowers to help the pollinators, which is going to help you, your ecosystem, your neighbors, and just those pollinators, because bees need a lot of pollen. And the more we can give them, the better they are, the better they're going to help us grow what we want to grow. So support your pollinators. Plant a flower garden if you don't want to do veggies. But if you are going to do a vegetable garden, the rule of thumb is real simple: 30 to 70. 30% flowers, 70% veggies. That way your garden has everything it needs for its ecosystem, like mine does. I have lots of flowers in the corners of my yard and then sprinkled throughout my beds to bring in the bees and the pollinators all through everything, which is, again, important to not only us, but also to the pollinators. So I'll stop rambling on this one. Plant a flower garden. Help the pollinators if you don't want to grow vegetables. Okay, so these final 2 points are what I consider the most important out of the 5, and that's just from a personal standpoint. I am really big on getting kiddos involved in gardening. It is so important for the next generation. And I think not only if you get them involved, you're also creating those bonds, right? How many of us right now sitting here can remember a memory of being in the garden, being in your backyard, being in your front yard, helping a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a neighbor, a close family friend, a parent, doing something in their garden, in their backyard? I'd venture to say pretty much everyone watching this video probably have many memories of stuff like that. I know I do, 1,000%. And that was one of the reasons why I started gardening, was that connection, that bond to my grandmother, my mom's mom. So if you have a family member who are young, kiddos, and they see your excitement when you're in the garden, when you're outside, when you're out here sweating, and you're not sitting in front of a TV, in front of your phone, in front of a Kindle or anything else, and you're actually outside sweating, enjoying the journey of gardening, they're going to see that. They're going to, at the very least, remember it. And that's you planting the seed of gardening in that kiddo's head. Now, if they get out there with you and get their hands dirty, get some dirt under their fingernails, that's even better. And my advice right here, before we go down this rabbit hole that I tend to go down when I talk about getting kiddos involved in gardening, but have them plant their own little plant somewhere. It could be one plant, it could be a little 3x3 section of your garden. Give it to them. Let them plant whatever they want. Let them tend to that area, that plant. And just and watch the excitement when whatever it is that they planted starts to grow, right? If you're thinking about starting a garden, I'm hoping you're probably thinking in those kind of realms where you're like, man, I want to be out there, I want to grow my own stuff, but I also want to get my kiddos involved, my grandkiddos involved. That's amazing. Do it. Do not hesitate. Do it. Get them involved, because you're creating those family bonds that are going to last a lifetime for you and for them. And what better way to bond with your kiddos or the kiddos in your life than being in the garden, being outside, not sitting in front of a screen. You know what I mean? Like, get them outside, create those bonds. And let's be real, get your older kids involved too, if you can. I know how teenagers are. I have one. Okay, so the final point that I want to talk about is this, as I'm looking at everything. Pride and accomplishment, right? Think about the pride you can have growing your own whatever, your own tomato, your own cucumbers, make your own pickles. You know what I mean by all that? Like, imagine the pride you'll have whenever you start the journey. You get your bed, whatever kind of bed you're gonna have, you get the soil in it, you get stuff planted, you're watering, and that first little sprout pops up, right? You get all excited. And then that plant grows. And the next thing you know, you've got vegetables growing. And you're taking pictures because you're excited, right? You want to share the internal pride that you have with everyone around you. Now, let's be real, not everyone's going to understand why you want to do it, why you want to plant something. They'll come up with 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't. You stick to your guns and you plant your garden. You let the haters hate somewhere else, you know what I mean? You focus on you. But the pride you will have in growing your own stuff is something I can't put into words. Only us that have done it or do it constantly understand that pride that you have and the accomplishment, because let's be real, it's not the easiest thing in the world to plant stuff, keep them watered, deal with all the pests, deal with all the disease, harvest, get comfortable in what you're doing, just everything that goes with gardening. Until you've done it, it's really hard to explain it. But that accomplishment you feel when you can harvest something big or a lot of, like if you're going to grow a lot of tomatoes because you want to make your own tomato sauce, that's amazing, do it. But imagine how good you're going to feel when you finish canning those tomato sauce jars and knowing that you grew every tomato that went in there, and you know how everything was grown. You know what went in that soil and all the blood, sweat, and tears that you put in, and money that you put into growing those tomatoes, the love you showed that garden. It's not something that can be easily explained through words. It is explained very easily through doing it, accomplishing your mission. And if your mission right now for this fall or maybe for spring is to start a garden, then start a garden. Start small. Don't go big. I did not do all of this in 1 year. This has all taken 5 so far. And I've done a little bit at a time. I started right here on this back fence. And then I put this one in. And then I wanted to grow tomatoes, so I put in this one with this trellising system specifically for tomatoes like you see down there. Then I started doing all the beds that are over there. But my advice is really simple. Start small and go for it. Go for it. I'm telling you, this is a journey that is so giving in so many ways that you just got to go for it. So if you're on the fence about starting a garden, get your butt off the fence and start your garden. And don't get distracted by any negative talk. There are negatives that you're going to deal with. You're going to deal with pests. You're going to deal with disease. You're going to deal with drought, not raining enough, forgetting to water. Why didn't this one plant live? I don't understand. You're going to deal with stuff, but that's gardening, y'all. It's just part of it. You got to go through all that to get to all the amazing stuff, like harvesting all those amazing tomatoes that you're thinking about, or pickling all those cucumbers that you're thinking about. So the final point was real simple: pride and accomplishment. And in both of those words, once you've hit that point, you're going to know it. You're going to be so excited, so happy, and it's going to come across to everyone around you. Like, I can't even explain it, y'all. It's amazing. You just have to start your journey. All right, everyone, so that's the video. I hope y'all got something out of it. I hope it gave you something to think about. These 5 points, again, were in no specific order, but I think they're all incredibly important, and they all go hand in hand in deciding whether or not you want to start a garden or not. And I hope, if you're watching this video and you are on the fence, I hope you have now gotten off the fence and you are ready to join the amazing community of gardeners around the world, and also here on YouTube, because on this channel, this community is all about encouraging, uplifting, and helping each other. That's the video, everybody. And if y'all did enjoy this video, do me the 3 favors: share, like, and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. Also, comment. Give me some ideas. How long have you been gardening? Or how long have you been thinking about starting a garden? And what's keeping you from starting, or what has kept you from starting? Drop all those down in the comments and let this amazing community help build you up, bolster your confidence, and to get you into the gardening journey. Everyone, take care. May God continue to bless each and every one of you. Continue to shine bright and harvest hard. Be in your gardens harvesting. It is that time of the year. I'll talk to y'all again real soon. Bye.